Yeah, come on!
Welcome to the Yeah Come On Show with Southside Steve.
Yeah, come on. Do I look presidential?
It's a big statement.
It is. Is it?
I mean, next to wearing a Trump shirt, I mean, that's stating I am a Republican.
Oh, well, this was my first election, and it's who I voted for. And, you know, I looked at the two people, and I'm like, I dig what Reagan's doing. I like the fact that he was an actor. I thought Nancy was hot. That mattered to me. And that's who I just said, you know what? This is the guy that's going to run the country. I like what he's saying. I loved the interviews that he did. Can you turn on my headset a little bit? My ears are ringing from last night.
Mike, producer Mike, could you get
Mike,
Steve's headset up, the producer?
Mike, Jeff and I were out last night. We will cover last night's Rockin' Taco, as well as I will cover Friday night's Trilliff experience with 38 Special. All that will come tomorrow. I just thought we should give President's Day its just due.
So that was your first, in 1984, you would have been 18, right? That was
I was 18. It's the first time I could vote. Okay. This is who I voted for. I was actually 18 right at 19. No, I was 18 when I voted, turning 19 right after. And it was kind of cool to participate in an election, you know? And my guy won. I was like, I'm a winner.
Well, that was a landslide. Like, he won all but one state. I think, right? I think Mondale won one state.
Yeah, one.
I remember that election.
The state he lived in, I think.
Yeah, that was the only. It was a red map.
It was all red. But I look back at the first election that I participated in that I couldn't vote in, and this is ahead of your time. You and I are separated by 10 years, but I'm at Meadows Elementary School. Meadows Elementary School is located in College Park. It's off Old National Highway. So when you exit Old National Highway, coming around 285, headed for 285 north, you exit, you go back across the interstate, you literally go down to the first intersection, Godby Road, you take a left and you go down, take a right on Schofield, and then a left into Old National East, which is where the Rickmans lived from 1970 to 84. And if you go straight down Old National past Godby, and the next turn is a right. There used to be a Kenny Shoes there. It's probably Buffalo Wings now. And you
or crab or juicy crab.
Juicy crab. They do love juicy crab down in the Old National Way. You take a right and then you take a left and you go down through just a little bit of a subdivision, and there lies Meadows Elementary. And you know, I remember Principal Hamill, you know, who I was very good friends with because I lived in his office. He was like, you know, we're going to do the election. Everybody get your buttons, get your stuff. So every kid came to school. And what did they come to school wearing? Nothing but this guy right here.
Jimmy Carter. This would have been 1976 or 80.
76.
Yeah, 76.
So Jimmy Carter. Why? Because he was our governor.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Why? Because he's from Georgia, Plains, Georgia. Why? Because he had a funny brother that had, you know, his own beer.
The Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
Was it Billy Bob beer? Yeah.
Yes, Billy beer. Billy beer,
yeah.
Not Bob, but Billy. But it was Billy beer. And Billy's just this goofy old, hey, man, my brother's running for president. Not putting on any airs. He is in the family business, peanut farming. And Jimmy Carter, as we know through Peter Conlon, which we'll have on this week on Friday, Peter Conlon, chairman of Live Nation Georgia, who worked with Alex Cooley, bringing you all the best concerts in the 80s. Well, he worked on Jimmy Carter's campaign, and Jeff, he's talked a bunch about that.
Oh, yeah, we've done a lot, especially since Carter passed away last year. He was close with Carter all the way until the end.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of, you know, his famous story of Elvis calling the White House and Peter Conlon talking to Elvis.
Yeah.
Because Elvis wanted him to he wanted Jimmy Carter to pardon one of his cousins or something for something.
For something. He goes, hey, man, that's right, Jimmy. I'm going to need a pardon. But he ran against this guy.
Gerald Ford.
And this is the bumper sticker from 1975, 76. And this is something that the Carter campaign put out against him.
So Ford is an Edsel.
Mhm.
An Edsel was known as a bad car, not a good car. See, that's a bumper sticker you have to think about.
Yeah.
You couldn't get away with a bumper sticker that has to have
Ford sucks.
Yeah, or just something that requires some thought. You have to know some knowledge about the reference. It's like almost like Dennis Miller making a bumper sticker.
Dennis Miller, you're right.
You got to have some. You got to know the references.
You got to be pretty smart up top if you're going to listen to Dennis Miller. So for me, I think that, it's cool that I held on to these. My father held on to them, and when my father passed away, I like some of the stuff that he had. He's a pack rat. There might be $1 million worth of stuff in my basement. I have a stamp collection I don't know what to do with. That was my grandfather's. There's some history here too. My father did not like Jimmy Carter and did not think he was going to be good for the nation and was a conservative. Even though my father was an art director and working with the Atlanta magazine and being an artist, you might think of him more as a hippie type of dude.
Yeah. Creative. He was a creative type.
He's a creative type, 100%, but a creative type. But he's like, no, this is what we need for the nation. My father was self-taught. He's one of those guys. He reminds me of a few guys I've met. He finished high school, but he didn't go to college, but he self-taught.
Mm-hmm.
And, people got around him, and he was a very educated man, and he loved to have deeper conversations, which means he and I didn't talk much. But, he sent me to school, and he's like, put this on. And I came to school with a much bigger, Jimmy Carter had small buttons, itty bitties. Ford Dole button was about this big, and I've got it at the house somewhere. I came to school with a red, white, and blue Ford Dole button.
The only one.
Only kid.
Only one.
Only. I mean,
everybody's rooting for our governor.
Yeah, and my dad goes, you're going to run into a little bit of pressure. A lot of people are voting for Jimmy Carter because he's from Georgia. He goes, but I saw the way he ran Georgia while governor. I don't want him running the country. Mm-hmm. My father's words to me. So I start regurgitating that. Yeah. I'm like, look, I'm in the 6th grade, and I'm in a team room where I'm not just in a small room where there's 12 to 20 students. I'm in a room with 60,
Well, I wonder if there were kids in the last election that were in 6th grade that went and regurgitated their parents' sayings on Trump or Biden. I don't know.
Maybe.
That was I don't remember talking politics in elementary school at all.
Oh, I was forced to talk.
Other than the actual election day.
I knew too much. And I remember watching the inaugural walk of Jimmy and his wife and daughter, and they're all holding hands. And I got to hand it to him, man. He wore him and his wife out. They did the long walk. They didn't ride in a limo. Can you imagine a president now walking that?
No.
It's not even as a safety concern they won't allow it. That's how much the world's changed. But it is President's Day. And for President's Day, just a couple of questions. First off, it's an easy one because you see the hats. Several presidents have gotten 2 terms. Usually those terms are back to back.
Right.
Well, in the current president's situation, he's not back to back. He is 45 and
47.
Boom. So we've had 47 presidents in the United States of America. Some back in the day could serve more terms. Do you think we should allow 3-term presidents or 4-term presidents?
I think we should. There should just be maybe an age limit. Like you can't continue to run when you're 85 years old.
Okay.
I think there should be, just like there's a minimum age, there should be a maximum age. But I think doing more than 1 term, as long as you're elected, you should be able to run, I think, more than twice.
Well, a lot of people feel, and this is common sense, we're not breaking ground here, but 4 years isn't enough. If somebody is really trying to implement the change, you got everyone that fights back. Do you have Congress and the Senate at the time? Is it so close that even 1 or 2 people step over the line? Is one side more against where they're not stepping over the line, not one of them? And that's kind of what we've had.
Yeah, we're still kind of going back and forth, so nothing gets done. It's just
nothing
gridlock.
Gets done.
That's why I think if you got stuff humming, like Reagan in 1984, keep it up.
Keep it up. And Reagan was a stud. The dude was shot, recovered. Trump's been shot at. Mm-hmm. You look at the different presidents of the United States, obviously the Kennedy assassination being the worst, and the fact that we don't know, but we do know. We do know it wasn't just a one-off. It wasn't just one shooter. I think now we've proved there were 3 shooters. There was a conspiracy. The fact is, who ran the conspiracy? Was it Cuba? Was it the FBI?
CIA.
CIA? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think CIA?
I think it was something to do with the military-industrial complex.
You think
That's
that
what
the
was the
fact that he
motivation.
wanted to get out of Vietnam and
Yeah.
not fight that war, people
Yeah.
are like, no, we got lots
We
of
got to
stuff
keep
to
this.
sell.
We got to feed the machine. So
And look
we're
at all
not
the-
pulling out.
And look at all the Americans we lost for a greedy ass dollar.
And same thing with Iraq and Afghanistan.
Same thing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Anybody that's lost a loved one in wartime, the only legit war, I mean, World War I, but World War II is the legit war.
Yeah, that was the last one that, there was a whole thing. Congress has to, declare war, which they haven't done since World War II.
No, and therefore, yeah, we shouldn't probably be in these. I just want to let you know the first President's Day came to us on that individual's birthday. George Washington is where President's Day started. We still celebrate it. And do you know the time frame? I didn't realize that George Washington became obviously our first president of the United States, but not during wartime. Not when he was a general. So it was after 1776. And I'm looking at the time when they decided they would literally have a president, and it's the latter part of that decade. It's like I think it was 86 to 96 or 76 to 86. I'm doing that one off the top of my head, but it came afterwards. And, you just look at history and somebody deciding we will have a president, we're going to have separate governments. That was a lot to put in place.
Oh, yeah.
And you're doing it from people that ran from, a dictatorship, so to speak, because it was royalty. It was King George.
Yeah, we had to fight for this. This is why I say, we didn't, but, 250 years ago, we fought for our independence and it was a bloody war. That's what's going on in all these other countries. They need to fight it out. We don't need to intervene. That's my opinion. Like, we did it. If you don't like your government, then it's up to the people to change it like we did 250 years ago.
Yeah, I realize you don't want to bring other people into it, but I think everybody always does. I mean, we kind of brought the French
Well, that's
in.
true. We did have a little help.
And they were getting the Indians. I don't know which tribes were helping out England, but some were, and then some were also helping the other side. So it was a damn mess. But you know what? The dust settled. Now we have presidents, and we have President's Day, and everyone's out of school. And I will tell you, I've got my Yeah Come On hat on, my American flag. Yeah Come On. Pretty cool, huh? I did that for patriotic reasons. I've basically branded Yeah Come On in anything I could.
Yeah, you have a patriotic version and the basic version,
and then I have a red, white, and blue one that you can get.
I like that. There's one over there.
Oh yeah, I'll show you the red, white.
Mike, have Mike grab it for me.
Mike, toss it to. Mike, I got it. He said he's cutting up some audio.
Oh, okay.
I got my red, white, and blue.
Is that okay? I like that one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Everybody's like, hey. I don't know if people have been under rocks, but maybe it's only because I only look at my stuff. We need subscribers. Jeff and I ran into a lot of people last night, and we were just literally signing up people to this show on the spot.
Yeah.
And we had a blast, and we're going to talk about it. But I can tell you, being a little bit out of it, working for an independent station and having kids and moving up here, I've kind of been out of the scene on local music. And I just want to touch on what tomorrow's show will be. What did you think? These three bands that competed last night, I mean, I've seen 38 Special where I went Friday night on the South Side, but I thought the local music was great.
Oh, yeah, we had a great time, great set list. It was a good battle of the bands, all went to a good cause. I voted. I put down some money and voted for one of them, and we'll talk more about them tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we will cover it all, everything from the new venue on the South Side in Fayetteville to Rock and Taco and what they're doing. And I want to say all of this, President's Day was brought to you by our studio sponsor, Exit Wealth. Go to exitwealth.com. Well, investigators are looking. It's time now for Steve MZ and Steve MZ. It's sponsored too. It's sponsored today by Smalls Sliders, coming to Georgia. Just like old Jimmy Carter on President's Day was our guy, Small Sliders are about to be your favorite place to eat. Why? Because it's 3 sliders. The meat is unbelievable. It's going to just crush some Crystal and White Castle. But they're easy to handle. They're great to go. Why? Because the whole place is to go. And it's going to be at Windy Hill, right there. It's 75 North and South in the lovely Marietta, and we will do the grand opening early March. We're shooting for March 17th, 16th, my birthday, somewhere in there. Small Sliders will be open, and we will be broadcasting live for our sponsor.
So it's near the Dixie Tavern?
Uh-huh.
Is it near the Dixie Tavern? Okay.
Look at you. You're on this?
Yeah.
I remember those stomping grounds. But Steve MZ brings you Nancy Guthrie kidnapping.
Still 2 weeks now?
Yeah, and here's what they think now. Are you ready for this? Investigators are eyeing a botched burglary. In other words, was somebody coming in thinking no one was there, and they stumble across old Nancy, and they're like,
We got to grab her.
we got to grab her. Did they know that it was the Guthrie's residence? That'll all come up. So, it's just one of those things that they're just still puzzling. And poor Savannah Guthrie literally put out, she's like, it's not too late to do the right thing. That's all you can say. She looks exhausted, the whole family. And it's just one of those horrible, horrible situations. And now we're like, okay, who took her? Who's been communicating? Is this all fake? Are people just wanting attention? Why would you act like you're a kidnapper if you're not?
Yeah, it's bizarre. And they found they found some DNA in the house.
They have DNA now,
which they put into the CODIS system. But couldn't there be other people's DNA just from housekeepers or doctor, anybody that's coming in to help? There's going to be other. There's always going to be other DNA in your home.
Yeah. Well, they say this DNA found from a glove left on the scene.
Okay.
So if it's a glove found on the scene, why did OJ drop a glove? Why did the kidnapper drop a glove? Why do people drop gloves? You wear a glove so nobody sees your fingerprints, then you drop it on the scene? Is this a thing? I mean, I'm just like wondering, how do you do that? But the doorbell camera sees somebody lurking on the property. FBI did find DNA from this glove. So if the person has a criminal record, they're coming for you. We'll see what happens. But she hasn't lost hope. And CNN is covering this nicely. Fox is. I love, maybe a lot of people are coming together over this. And of course, we will talk this week with Chloe Malas, our entertainment reporter for NBC and the Today Show and Friends with poor Savannah Guthrie. I'm sure she'll be guarded on what she can or can't say, but we are in the late hours. I imagine she'll say more to us because I think they're like, where is she? Where could she be? I think most people think she's local, if she's still alive. And that's the question. Is she still alive? And we all hope and pray that she is. There you go on Nancy Guthrie. Our heart goes out to you. Our heart does not go out to Scott Peterson.
No.
So Scott Peterson, I don't know what they do in jail anymore. And I don't know who's on that whole 23 hours in the cell, 1 hour walking. And I don't know if they get to hang out or do stuff. But Scott Peterson has been playing pickleball in prison. Yeah. He's kind of an athletic looking dude. And they're joking about him playing other inmates. And then they get into a fight. And basically, Scott Peterson got beat up by Charles Miles because Peterson either won or lost the pickleball.
So they had a little scuffle on the pickleball court?
Over pickleball. And this is how sad it is that we're reporting Scott Peterson in jail. So now they have pickleball tournaments. I mean, before it was always basketball, right? That's all.
Yeah.
They don't play tennis in prison. They definitely, I don't think, have pickup soccer. I love the movie with Burt Reynolds. I don't think they're playing football. They might toss it. Or maybe baseball, maybe some baseball throwing, but it's predominantly.
That sounds like a resort.
It does. And it's a little too metro for prison, I think. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And that's just a slice of Steve MZ right here on President's Day. Now we move to politictainment. Will Jeff have a fun politictainment? Where will we go? It is a Monday. It is a patriotic day, and most people are out of school and out of work. Congratulations if you are. But I can say that this is brought to you by hardworking people, Exit Stage Left Advisors. They sell your business. If you've had one for 20, 30 years, 10 years, you just want to know what it's worth. Nobody has to know. You're not going to upset anybody. If you're worried about certain employees or who wants to stay on or you wanted to stay on, every deal is different. But there are a lot of people looking to take over hardworking businesses and give you a different direction in your life, or maybe you finally get to rest.
Polydictainment.
Well, so we do have the partial government shutdown because the Democrats and Republicans can't come to terms on funding the DHS. So it's that part of the government, which is ICE, of course, TSA, the Coast Guard, all affected by the shutdown. They want. I think it seems like the Republicans gave up what they wanted is cameras for the ICE agents, not to just roam the streets, to have the targeted. What was the other one? And the Democrats want no masks.
No. Here's the deal: if you had a sane, what's the word I'm looking for?
Protesters or saying
party. If your party was sane, and look, and I don't know the percentage. I hope there's Democrats going, good God, what are they doing? I hope people aren't cheering them on at home. And paid protesters I'll just say that just pisses me off. That's sick. Making people go out creating chaos. That's not how you do it. Take a little slide from Martin Luther King Jr. If you want to know how to properly protest. And when you are going to go into a city or a town, you notify that governor, you notify that mayor. There's a police plan. There's a plan.
The plan, yeah. You work together. You have to work with the local law enforcement.
But when local law enforcement doesn't work with the federal government, and when local law enforcement allows detainees to be released on the streets that aren't Americans and have criminal records, that's a no-no. So I think that's where everything came together. And I really think that they're like, okay, just let us know when you got a bad guy that's not an American. We'll come in, we'll take him. We're not going to say that we're not going to grab Julio on the construction site. That might happen, but at the end of the day, he's illegal.
If he's still illegally, it's still illegal.
Yeah, that's all they're saying. You can't protect everybody. Illegal is illegal. And I don't know why people think they can bend the laws. It's like I killed somebody. I mean, like even these people that have been caught and they murdered somebody and they lawyer up, they're like, oh, death penalty's off the table. Was it for the person you killed? So it's a little too crazy out there. And I really think that what you're talking about, when you look at people that are going to go and chase down a family, go and chase down an individual, they also want their names on their uniforms. No, the only reason you want those things is because you want to harass them.
I know that's why they need to,
It's common sense.
Yeah, I feel like they should have their names, just like all officers do. Any law enforcement does.
Guess what? Give me a fake ass name. I'm out here doing what you pay me to do.
It does look weird to see them masked up and having to hide, but you're right. They shouldn't have to hide. There shouldn't be such insane protesters going after people doing their jobs.
Here's the only people that should be upset at them. The only people, the perpetrator's family that maybe was over here, and they're like, "Why are you out committing crimes, Dad? Why did you do this? Why did you bring us here?" Families can be upset. And I think also, the actual immigrants or people that are illegal can be upset. That I understand. But for Mary and Bill to drive up in their electric cars and block roads and all these people, it's a bunch of crazy white women and some white dudes that are only capable of Frisbee golf, no other sport, and it's starting to get on my nerves. Right now, we're going to go to sports, brought to you by Regal Nissan. Regal Nissan is located in Roswell, Holcomb Bridge Road and Roswell Road, and it's actually Holcomb Bridge and Georgia 400. Roswell Road's nearby, but it's super convenient on the interstate. Regal Nissan Service. That's where you bring your Nissan or your Infiniti and ask for Skipper. He's the service manager, and he does sports on our show. Today, though, is Jack Sugar's day on sports. My brother-in-law that's got a new cool job that I don't know when we're able to talk about it, but he'll tell us. But I can tell you, he could do your taxes. He's that good, but he also is that good at sports. And I think he has a dual citizenship. I think he's good on the books, and I think he's a good sports guy. And I think I'm building up an air personality.
Yeah,
here.
That's like me. I'm good with the books and good with being the Doc of Rock.
Okay, I'm good with just talking trash. No books. Jack Sugar, are you there?
I'm here.
There he
come
is.
On. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday to you, Jack Sugar. Are you driving around with the family? Your kids are not currently in school, but are you off for President's Day?
I am off for President's Day, and I am about to jump in the car with my 3-year-old and 1-year-old. So I think you guys got spared by about 5 minutes of some serious background noise.
Hmm.
But yeah, off work today. Started a new job last week as the director of financial reporting for Prize Picks. So we're officially switched over and working in the sports world again, which is very exciting.
That's right. For those that don't know your background, you've worked in the sports world before. Jack used to walk across the field at Mercedes-Benz to go to work, and that's a pretty good walk, and that makes you feel good. Can you tell people what you've done in the past for sports?
Yeah, I worked in the Arthur Blank family of businesses at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, doing some financial reporting for them through some fun early opening years at the stadium and doing the accounting, creating the financial statements for Mr. Blank and the stadium itself.
Yes. Now, and you're saying you're working for Prize what? Because I've been a DraftKings guy. Do I need to switch?
You do need to switch. I was going to
Hmm.
talk to you about that. Figure we could keep it in private, but yeah, it's Prize Picks. It is legal in Atlanta. You can put together some more or less picks on what players you think are going to have more or less in various categories.
Right.
2 players from 2 different teams. It's basically daily fantasy sports, but you're not competing with a bunch of AI algorithms
Hmm.
to try to win, a guaranteed bucket of money. So, it's just you versus what happens on the court, which is a different angle. And then you can also put your, the new prediction markets that Kalshi has kind of
Wow.
standardized. You can put your predictions through Prize Picks as well. So
Oh, you're gonna have
sign
to
up.
sit down with me.
Get
I will sign up today.
It's a great app, and I'm sure there's plenty of promo codes out there. I'll have to get an official one for the listeners here so that they can get some free deposit bonuses.
You know what's the least we can do? He's back in the sports world, which means sports fits him like a glove. I like it. Jack Sugar in sports right now. I don't know whether you watched any of the Daytona 500. Obviously, NASCAR fan or not, to anyone, everybody knows when the Indy 500 takes place for open wheels and, of course, Daytona, the first race of the year for NASCAR. And I've got a little audio here. You should be able to hear it. We'll throw up. We had a big wreck at the end, which allowed somebody to win. I've sent Jeff a couple pieces of audio. Here we go.
The final lap?
Yeah, the final
lap.
lap. Oh, boy. We got wrecks. We got wrecks. There's always wrecks on the final lap. And now he's going to try to get his car back on. Did you see any of this, Jack? Did
That
you get any of
happened
it?
right as I got it. I did watch a little bit of the
Okay.
race there, and it was real interesting, kind of how. And I'm not a NASCAR guru by any means, but
Right.
you're watching all the teams with about 25 to 15 laps left figure out whether they're going to change their wheels or not,
Yes.
and making that call. And so all the various teams are making that decision. And when I was watching it, this is about when I stopped watching it because then the golf tournament was ending. My son was demanding to watch that, bath time, bedtime,
I
father
love
of
it.
2.
Yes.
And so, but I saw Reddick kind of snuck in with a pack of maybe Chevrolets or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and was ruining their drafting plans. I don't know if that had an impact on the end of the race, and I don't want to talk more about something I don't know about, so I'll stop there.
No, you know what? And I can dig it. The fact is, most sports guys, you're prepared when you walk into a party or anything. You know your go-tos. You know what the season is. Usually you're ready for some conversation. But this season just kicked off. Not everybody's a NASCAR fan. Do you have Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah. But,
I can't even believe it. Yeah, I mean, it was so gratifying. I mean, we had 4 guys that were really fighting, that was helping each other out. I mean, you never know how these races going to end, right? It's like you just try to survive. And, I thought Riley did an unbelievable job by pushing at the end. That shows you what teamwork can really, really do. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit. He won't get enough credit, but we feel the love. We understand exactly what he did. And, I mean, we just hung in there all day. I mean, we great strategy by the team, and we gave ourselves a chance at the end. And look, I'm ecstatic. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It feels like I won a championship, but until I get my ring, I won't even know.
And he does get a ring. What do you think about Michael Jordan owning half of a NASCAR team with Denny Hamlin? And he will get a Daytona 500 ring that is a lot like a championship ring, very expensive, lots of diamonds, lots of show. And he did it on his 63rd birthday. Michael Jordan, of all things, in NASCAR. Your thoughts?
All he does is win. That's just what he does.
I know.
Michael Jordan.
He just does. He just wins. He can't help but win. Michael Jordan's NASCAR team squeaks it out with Riddick winning the race. NASCAR's off and running. Lastly, Jack, anything going on in sports? I did see the Falcons with Pitts. He had a good end of season. He hasn't produced like he should have. Will we keep him as a tight end? Are you looking at Braves or Falcons right now?
I feel like this is like national watching sports weekend. Coming off the Super Bowl, Valentine's Day weekend, it's like, you know what, we got to hand this one over to the women, and we got to take a step back from the televisions and from the headlines and just take a quick breather before we get into March Madness. So I left sports pretty much out of the equation with the exception of some Olympics. The women, they're okay with figure skating.
Love it. So
I'm
am
watching
I, Jack.
people
So am I. Get in touch with your feminine side. I love figure skating. It's fantastic.
And that was my weekend, watching a little bit of Olympics that the wife approved. That was where I was at this weekend.
Okay, well, you know what? The wife approved, and I dig it. The one thing I'll end on is they are always tweaking the Olympics. We all of a sudden started getting snowboarding, then snowboarding racing. We're doing different things, but I don't know if you saw the skeleton races yesterday. For the very first time, you saw on the men 15-2, and on the women like 15-1, 14-1, 14-2. The reason is that the woman goes down for the country, then the man goes down for the country, and they combine their scores to see which team wins, a man and a woman doing the ice skeleton sliding thing. And I was like, that's new. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah, like the mixed relays.
Yes.
I caught a little bit of that on bobsled as well, like single person bobsled. I mean, it's just, you see these sports and you're like, who does this and why? And it's like I'm watching bobsled and they're like, this guy's recovering from a broken neck, and they're talking like a broken neck as if it's the torn ACL in football. It's just like, well, yep, he bobsleds. He's got a broken neck a couple times. It's like, what in the world? How do these people get there?
No, stuff happens. Thank you. Today with sports, it's Jack Sugar. We look to join a different league. For those of us that have been DraftKing it for years, there's something new out there, and that is, Jack?
Prize Picks.
Prize Picks. Jack Sugar on sports twice a week on the Yeah Come On show. My brother-in-law, take care, and thank you for being on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on. That leads us into track 13, where we get to play a song.
Yeah, well, we don't play it because we're not allowed to, but we do like to talk about music and talk about deep cuts, one-hit wonders. And you can always watch the video. We'll put the link in the description. But I did have one in honor of last night. We did the Rock and Taco last night, the Sound of Hope.
Yeah.
Raising money for the Atlanta Cancer Care Foundation.
And you know who thought he might come last night? And he sent me a message. David Markwell of Markwell Therapy, one of our proud sponsors. When you go into counseling with David Markwell in Marietta, when you come in, he's got one of those like Pink Floyd type pictures.
So he's a rock and roll guy.
He's a rock and roll guy.
Therapist.
Yeah, he's a rock and roll therapist. He's got the goatee. Yeah. And there's David Markwell right there on the show with us. David's got that long beard. He is definitely a rock and roll guy, and he's calm. I don't think David could ever yell at anybody. He's like, oh, let's just talk about it. And he calms you and works it through. And there's a lot of people out there with some mental issues or just maybe having a tough go in a relationship. Counseling is available. Go to David Markwell Therapy. I've known the guy for 15 years. He's been on the radio probably 20 times, and he's a proud sponsor of the Yeah Come On show and track 13 today.
Well, so last night, it was all cover bands, Battle of the Bands. And we had one of the guys on from one of the bands, Sonic Alley, Rick Barrick, who was on our show last week. He sits on the board of the Atlanta Cancer Care Foundation.
Yeah,
And
when
he
you're on the
plays
board,
bass.
yeah, and he plays bass, and he played pretty good. It was cool to see him be a musician.
Yes, yeah. Then they were my favorite, not just because of
Okay.
him. So that is who I voted for because I liked their set list. They played some deeper cuts, covers rock songs, and I love that they opened with the Kinks' Paranoia.
They did. Big
Not-
Destroyer.
Not You Really Got Me.
No.
They picked a deeper cut. I thought that set the stage, and they had a lot of great tunes. They played that Head East song, Never Been Any Reason.
Yes.
They did Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. So they had some very 96 rock centric.
Yeah, you leaned over
Yeah.
to me and said, this is like 96 rock in the late 70s, early
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
Definitely more late 70s, but I love the little green man in my head. Paranoia.
Oh, yeah.
The lead singer combo was excellent. A guy and a girl, and man, they could harmonize. They both could hit those high notes.
Yeah. So we'll do today's track 13 in honor of Sonic Alley from last night's Atlanta Cancer Care Foundation event, The Sound of Hope. Look forward to doing that next year.
Should we not mention the other band, Better Than Silence?
Better than Silence and Family Truckers.
Family Truckers.
Yeah, they won, but I think Sonic Alley should have won, and they opened with this, and that'll be today's track 13. It is the Kinks and Paranoia on the Come On Show.